The local response in the US has really focused on talking about, why can't they be committed to the US? Why can't they play for the US? Especially these two athletes, Yi and Gu, are understood as almost like traitors. Gu has very much shown with her Twitter following and the various endorsement of brands and the incredible global appeal she has. Her mixed race heritage is also what a lot of nations around the world are doing to showcase how cosmopolitan they are, provides incredible traction for China to completely dismiss, if they choose to, any claims of racism. And they have very serious human rights issues, various forms of authoritarianism that limit protest.
especially with these very intense times between the U.S. and China. Has that had any effects with how these athletes are portrayed?
Because one of the things we have to account for is how geopolitical conditions outside of sport always inform sport and the politics within sport. Why do we not have the same criticism of those that represent the US to say, how can you represent the US during this time of such anti Black racism, anti Asian racism, an attack on the poor, caging of children on the US Mexico border, the increased presence of the US and continued wars in the Middle East, and also to talk about a complex identity that is built across nations, that choosing one nation over the other is not a choice to choose, to be against human rights, to be against civil rights, but rather it might mean something very different individually and personally, right? To always imagine the affiliation with China through the larger political realm also doesn't get at the various types of personal connections, the pleasures, the joys of choosing to play for China that might attend to one's own family history.